want to see if Twitch is kind of happy with it. Okay, so maybe this stream is going to be a little bit more stable. So what we're doing today is I'm doing a small production run of my fiddlehead hairpin scribes. They kind of look like this, but they're usually longer. So this stuff I make out of 3/16 square, cut to 8 inches. And that's just the size I have found to be nice for me. My mark on my anvil is starting to disappear. So I put a mark on the side of my anvil from basically the back of the shelf down on my face at 7 inches, because what I'm trying to do is get as many of them as close to that as possible. Now, you know, within roughly 1/8 of an inch is possible. Some of them end up being a little bit shorter, some of them be a little bit longer, but I'm trying to hit that as much as possible. So I got 4 pieces in the forge. Now this is something I've done on a previous stream, so yeah. But sometimes I just have to get stuff done. So one of the reasons why the reason why I missed the stream yesterday, if you didn't notice, I didn't go live yesterday. My dog had a slight allergic reaction to food late last week, and so it wasn't anaphylactic, the one where it swells up in the throat. That wasn't it. Her throat never swelled. It was more of a little bit of swelling in the face, rash, hot spots, hives. So unfortunately, because of that, some of her skin, like on her nose and around her eyes, has broken open a little bit. So she's feeling a little down. Like we took her to the vet on Monday. We got medication for her and stuff. So hopefully it clears up quickly. It's really interesting with humans and food allergies, where it's like just hives and all that. It's usually within like 24 hours it will go away. With dogs, apparently it can go for quite a few days to weeks. And that's just because of how their body metabolizes the fat or protein that might have caused the reaction. Now, I'm not a dog expert. This is my 3rd dog I've had in my life, so I'm not by far anywhere near an expert in dogs. So, but this is stuff I get to find out. So, we're just gonna heat these guys up, and I'm running my forge a little bit lower today. It's around 5 psi. I might drop it a little bit more. Again, your forge might be a little different. Also, I have put a brick, fire brick, one of the soft ones. Put a fire brick block into one door. Now it doesn't block it fully, but it does retain some of that heat a little bit better, just to be able to lower my my propane use with these guys. So I've been selling this particular version for slightly over a year now. No, maybe it's a little less than a year actually. And they do actually quite well, both in person and online. So yeah, we'll get you flipped up. So basically I'm just tapering it on 2 sides. So it looks like you probably can't see that all that well. I'll try and angle, like swivel it back. But I'm keeping the parent, like the width of it, the same as the parent material. But I am flattening it, I am tapering it on basically 2 sides. Just like that. And I did open both propane tanks. Yes, I did. Okay. Sometimes warming up the forge, I'll get in the habit of only opening one. And it's not really that good, because I run 2 propane tanks at a time. So they're on just like a Y that I got from Amazon. So like I said, I'm going to be working on 4 irons at once. So I got 4 pieces in the forge right now. And just basically doing every step with all 4 of them. I'm also trying to listen to my forge to make sure I haven't dropped it too low. Which sometimes is a little harder because I have not noise canceling, but noise isolation earbuds in. And I can't say anything but good things with my ISO Tunes earbuds. I think I got the Pro original version. I've had them for quite some time now, a couple of years. And they work so well. So right now I actually have the music. I usually listen to music or podcasts while I'm working. So right now I have it quite low because with music on I tend to lose what I'm talking about. I find it is distracting, which is funny because it's not distracting while I'm working, but while I'm doing this whole talking thing, it is. So, oh, and what I'm doing here is I'm just doing kind of a jelly roll on them. And this is basically the size I normally do them at, which works out to be what, almost 2 full. Actually, it is 2 full rotations around. So I'll do that on all 4 of them, and this will make the fiddle head on the end. And with these guys, it depends on how warm it is in the shop and if I'm talking or not. I will do 4 or 5 of these at a time in the forge. Most of the time I will actually do 4 because I like even numbers. These guys are not too bad, but with some of the other ones, doing 5 is just too much hammering in a row for me. So I'll drop it down to 4. These guys are not too bad. I'm actually taking a little bit longer or more heats to do these guys. I'm not sure why today. Maybe because I'm just thinking of other things. But We're just doing the jelly roll. Sorry, I just looked up and YouTube is complaining I'm not giving it enough data. So, am I still dropping? Oh, you're doing so well. What's wrong with you? So, I am in the process of upgrading. So, upgrading my network here. You probably heard it a couple of times now. So, I am looking at getting a new router for a Wi-Fi router in my house, and where the internet comes in from the ISP, and the one that's currently in the house, I plan on moving it out here, because the one that's out here kind of was not the smartest buy in the beginning, so it's getting a little struggle, and the weather does play a huge part on it, because I'm not sure why. But I notice when it's like kind of like miserable outside and raining and sleet and stuff, my signal just doesn't work as well. So I'm also doing a little kink kind of underneath the jelly roll. So now I did all that on all 4 of them now. Actually doing the 3 twist that I do on them. So I'm just gonna flip you over to the main camera for a second while I get this set up. I'm pretty sure me moving all this doesn't actually feel or look nice. So we'll get you over on the vise. Don't mind the mess in the corner there. Yeah, that looks okay. So I'm doing what I know as a waterfall twist on here. And actually, unfortunately, you guys are too close. So basically, and I shouldn't have let that cool down so much. It's one way the first time, and then I'm going to put it back in the forge. When it comes out of when it's the next heat, I'm going to quench that almost to the top of that last twist, and then go the opposite way. So hopefully I can remember which way I twist these guys. Normally I twist them all the same way. Actually, last batch I did it backwards, which threw me off a little bit. Because normally I go clockwise, counterclockwise, and then clockwise again. You can do whatever you want. And I got steel trying to escape from underneath my forge. The cut off pieces that pile up underneath my forge all the time. It's been this April's been really weird. Like the last couple of days, we've actually woken up to below freezing. Hasn't been very nice lately, and like today is quite like cold, damp. So we'll see how many I can get today. Normally on a good day, I can get roughly about 50 of these from start to finish done. Like that's including doing the wire wheel and beeswax finish on them. But for whatever reason, when I'm doing it live, I don't get that many done. So I do have my chat windows up on both Twitch and YouTube. So on YouTube, I'm under my name currently. So that's Kevin Chaney. But on Twitch, I'm actually under Red Maple Forge, which is my company name. So if you're on YouTube, and you also have a Twitch account, and you want to help me out a little bit, pop over there and start following me over there. You don't have to necessarily watch from over there if it's not your platform that you like watching, but just even following me really helps me out as I go in this endeavor of doing live streams as a blacksmith. So now I'm doing my last twist and I'm going back to a clockwise. I'm grabbing from just above the vise because now I'm going to be flipping this over into the forge, and that way I can do my the point on the bottom of the scribe. So I get the last 3 of these done up, and I'll have to move you again over to the anvil. And I'm not worrying about keeping these straight at this point in time. If they get a little wonky and bent out of shape, it's not too bad. I will fix that later. Apparently I missed one doing a twist the second way. So apparently I lost count. Normally right now at this point in time yeah, I don't know where I was going with that at this point in time. Just rambling on as I make these. Like I said, my mind's not necessarily in the now and then on this, so. It also doesn't help that the stream keeps on telling me I'm not giving it enough data. That really bothers me, actually. I think a lot of it is actually, I used to be an IT specialist, and actually networking was the discipline I went into. Now, of course, that was over 20 years ago when I left school. 22, holy moly, 22 years. Woo! And here I am. So I'll flip you over again because we're going back to the anvil, and I don't want you to feel nauseous while I move you. And on this tripod, I actually have to add a weight to the bottom when I'm close to the anvil because it will bounce the camera. And watching it afterwards doesn't look nice. So it's just as much for me as it is for you. So we'll get your switch back on the anvil, and we'll get these guys finished off. The only advantage of keeping these pretty straight when you're doing the twist is at this point in time, it depends what tongs you're using. I'm just using flat bit, the best for these guys. I just don't have a better tong in my arsenal right now. So I'm just basically judging how I am at the side of the anvil. And this one's a little bit long, but not too bad. So we'll leave that guy as it is. And while I still have heat, I'm going over to the vise. I don't know if you can see that on this camera. Not really. Okay. Well, just take my word for it. I'm just going on the vise and going on the angles, on the diagonals kind of thing of the square to straighten it up. And then I'll actually take a look and make sure it's kind of straight. And then it gets thrown on the ground. Yeah. Normally how I, before doing streams like this almost every day, how I would actually work out my like production time and stuff like that, I would normally forge stuff in the morning. And then in the afternoon, do all the clean work and like cleaning up work and all that. Oh, that looks good. So yeah, I would normally do all the forging in the morning, get my orders out, and then anything I forged in the morning, come back to in the afternoon and do all the wire wheeling stuff I need to do, and then put the beeswax on them. That was what worked last year, kinda. This year I'm trying a little bit different. Just to see how a different approach will be. But last year I was also shipping out stuff every weekday. And I found that was a huge waste of time. So I've started going to shipping out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And boy, does that make a difference. Just dropping 2 days of shipping out stuff. Huge difference. And I thought at first that it would affect my sales because I've had to extend my processing time by a day. But I have not noticed any difference in sales from last year to this year by making that change. So this is the last one. This 4. And also, while it's in the vise, I'm making sure the fiddle head is centered. I've had previous batches where I missed out on doing this, and then you're looking at it afterwards and it's like, eh. So taking a few seconds now really helps in the long run. That's the first 4. And let's get another 4 going. So if you're just catching up now, these are made out of 3/16 square, 8 inches long. At least that's what I use. If you're having troubles getting 3/16, because it is kind of an oddball size, and I know when I order it, the company I order from, they basically have to order it in themselves. So it takes a couple of weeks to get in sometimes. So if you're not able to get 3/16 square, you could bring in 1/4 inch round and square it off first before doing the forging. we'll get those guys heated up. Let's see if there's any activity in the chat that I didn't see. No, there's not. That's okay. So, I don't know. I'll talk about why I have propane instead of coal. It's actually really simple. It's easier for me to get propane than coal. That's one thing. And it's not actually that difficult for me to get coal. There's another blacksmith that's about, I would say, a little bit less than an hour away from me, more like 45 minutes. And he actually sells coal. He still uses coal. Majority of his work is done by coal. So I can just go over there and get a bag. I actually still have a bag underneath my stairs over there of the coal I brought from the last shop over here. What it ultimately came down to is the chimney for the coal forge. Because I am actually technically in a little bit more residential area than before. My old shop was on a farm. So basically you're almost able to do anything, kinda, with reason, on a farm without getting building permits and all that. But here, I'm a little bit closer to residential. So I'd have to actually get a building permit and actually have to do it to code, which means I would have to get almost like, I would have to get a double line chimney. So basically an insulated chimney pipe for the coal forge to run it in my current shop. And it was going to be more expensive to put the chimney in than it was for me to buy a professionally made propane forge. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go propane. And I'm actually really glad I did for the most part, because most of my stuff right now is production work. With the odd custom work, having the less flexibility of propane really hasn't affected all too much, other than the odd custom work that I've had to turn down because it wasn't going to be feasible for me to do it. So, yeah, but overall, I really like it because a lot of the stuff I do is just production. What I feel more comfortable with, and also it's the amount of time you spend and what gains you get out of it. I started off, like, for the first 7 years of me forging, it was all custom work. So, and I've slowly got more into doing production lines and doing production work. So, yeah. Well, my production work is still small batch, as you can see. So yeah, you can tell the shop is heating up a little bit more than what it was when I did the first batch, because I am getting further along with these guys per heat than I did on the last ones. Normally I like getting the fiddle head completely done in 2 heats if possible. Also, the forge is a little bit warmer. I only started it about maybe 10 minutes before the first try at the stream. So it has definitely got warmer. And that makes a difference too. And we just did a kink down. And there you go, fiddlehead in 2 heats. Where are we doing on time? I really need a bigger clock because right now I only have it on my my little laptop screen, so it's really hard to. Which is funny because I wear a watch. So many things I need to. There we go. A little. We can start twisting that guy on the next heat. Boop, 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 boop. So these guys I am making a little bit bigger on the fiddlehead. I'm doing that just because the last batch was a little bit longer after tapering, where it's a little bit shorter and I have to taper a little bit longer than if it ends up being. I'm gonna get you switched over again so I can do my go over to the vise. So on the first one I don't quench because I can grab it right with the vise, no problem. And with these twists, I'm only doing one turn. As you can probably tell. And that's just because I'm not twisting a huge section of it. It's probably only around maybe an inch at a time. So it really doesn't need more than that one turn or one revolution to actually look half decent. So now we're going in, quenching right at the top, right to the top of that last twist. I actually go a little bit lower. I actually want to pick up the last little twist in here. Oh, and I just turned that the wrong way. Oh, can I save it? This one's gonna look a little wonky. It's not bad. It will Oh, I grabbed that wrong. It will do. And like I said, this is what I know is a waterfall twist. And the reason why it is because you leave a little bit of that previous twist warm, that when you twist it again, it'll actually cause a little bit of that. Might not show up that well on the camera. It's basically the two twists will intertwine with each other kind of thing. So you don't have a solid stop. It kind of just moves in with the other one. So one twist just kind of slowly morphs into the opposite twist. And of course, if you had a acetylene torch or something like that, you could actually do these twists faster, because you can just heat up that one section where you want the twist, move down, and just keep on moving down. Grab that one wrong. I still want the fiddle head in first. This is the last twist on this guy. You gotta remember that we're going clockwise with it. Not have the mess that I had on the last time I tried to twist this. It still looks fine. And then I'm gonna flip it around and put the what's going to be pointy side into the forge. And of course, as the water gets warm, I have to quench this a little bit longer when the water's freezing cold. And right now I'm using what I consider my winter quench bucket, which is just a 1 gallon paint can. We're still getting freezing temperatures, so I kind of don't want to risk breaking my big quench tank. So that's the twist done. So we get you switched back over to the anvil so we can finish these guys off. Now I just put the point on them. It's just a simple square taper. Do a little slight light tap, straighten it a little bit. Now, because I do these guys in both hairpins as well as scribes, I don't go to a really sharp point during forging. If I decide it's going to be a scribe, I actually will do the point with a belt grinder. So I leave it a little bit more of a dollar point. So the hairpin ones are just sent how they are forged. And then the scribe ones, I actually shape a little bit of a point with the belt grinder. Again, I'm using the diagonals of the square to straighten this. And that's only because it's easier to do that with a piece that you have twist in than if you go on the flats. Because as you twist, those flat pieces will stick out more, because the corners are now on the flat side as well. So this is probably going to be the last one I do today. This will get me through at least a week on orders. If not, it'll get me through the weekend for sure. So that's pretty well the goal I was going for today. I'm down to, I think, one that's actually finished right now. So I kind of like to have them ready to go to be shipped out. Now I'm trying to straighten them out as best as I can right now. These guys being only 3/16, they you can straighten them to some degree with after they cool down. So while I wire wheel these, I will actually look at to make sure that they are straight. But other than that, I get them as close as possible while they're hot, and then I'll finish them up while they're cold. And yeah, I think that'll do for today for me. Like I said, I got 8 done. That'll get me through the weekend for sure. So I would like to go and check on my puppy. So I'm gonna call it a day today on the stream. So thank you guys for coming by, and I'll catch you on the next one.